man them, I should have been way happier, but just come off our Arsenal loss. dampen spirits.
It's the Carabao Cup, bro. Don't beat up yourself.
Yo, I told him that, Quaz. I told him it's the perfect place to get that last.
The last thing still.
Like,
and it's I guess because it's a Premier League side. So it just kind of burn, but we move. All right, you guys want to jump into this?
Yeah.
It was an eventful weekend, to say the least. Not too much to say on the Arsenal-Chelsea game. It was a 1-0 to Arsenal. What you guys thought about the game, the scoreline, the tactical awareness, the approach?
Do you want to go first?
I mean, one of the Chelsea man them can go first. I mean, it's on the floor to go first on that.
Alex, what you say?
Boy, you can start it. You can start. I have nothing to say. You can start
it. Man, them sheep.
You know, well, we just for the Florida guys, we watched the game together. Jeff, Alex, myself, and Chase. So during the game, it was pretty much, and for the two sides that were there, I think the game lacked some quality. It was one-sided. Chelsea had no right being on that pitch, if truth be told. We were saying this in a moment. We were actually trying to look for a route to victory. And we said it had to be probably an Arsenal defensive error or goalkeeping error, or just probably a set piece that Chelsea could have won on. But there was no way through open play that Chelsea was going to break down at Arsenal side or prove or have anything worth developing in the Arsenal third. I've been saying this now for the past few weeks. We shouldn't have beat Villa. Kepa saved us. We shouldn't have drawn with Brentford. Kepa saved us. We were soundly beaten by Brighton, and the performance continued over into the Arsenal game. There's a lack of creativity in the side. There are defensive frailties all over in the side. Now, granted, our best player, Reece James, who is a right wing back, is injured, but the side still needs revamping. So at this point, I'm not upset with Potter. He needs time. We always have to be reminiscent of like Klopp's first season and what he was working with and where he has to go. At the beginning of the season, we were asked to do our predictions. I think I had Chelsea around, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, we can probably look back on the tape, 4th or 5th. Right now, I'd have to reevaluate and say, it's going to be between ourselves and Man U for 6th and 7th because Newcastle is ahead of schedule of where they should be. Liverpool might jump up in the runnings if they hit a red patch of form. So it's going to be hard going. We definitely need to beef up in the next few transfer windows. Potter needs to implement his style of play on players that he thinks can fit his system. But basically, we're out of it. I didn't get a chance to even watch the Carabao Cup game today, but we have ways to go, and it's going to be a long road ahead, an arduous road ahead.
Agreed.
So, like, I just want to like touch on certain things, right? And so far, I can say, is that Potter needs to show like an identity. We need to like form an identity. We need to have a style of play. I'm not going to be too hard on him because he's inherited a squad full of players that weren't for him. And he's working with a team, as Coach said, who's missing some of our best players, like for example Reece James. And when you think about our new signings who've come in, like for example, like a Koulibaly. Like a Koulibaly hasn't had the impact that we expected. And one could even blame him for the loss in the Carabao Cup. He was at fault for the first goal. And he has shown us naivety in the sense that he's always picking up early yellow cards. And when you think about other signings like Cucurella, Sterling, who haven't come in and had the impact that we would have expected. I can't really put too much on Potter. I have to speak on the players. Like I would say, for example, watching that Arsenal game where we weren't in the game. 1-0 is very that's a polite scoreline for us.
Flattering. Flattering.
We could have lost 3-4. Flattering. Yeah, flattering scoreline. We could have lost 3-4-0. We could have been playing for 180 minutes and never score a goal. We had no cohesion. We had, there was no good movement. I'm a big Kai Havertz fan, and I am a bit worried because I'm saying this is his third season, and I was just watching that game and saying every time he got the ball, he was just doing rubbish. Either he was misplaced in the pass, he didn't lift up his head, he wasn't beating his man, and then I have to home in on this point, for example, because I remember last week I was telling you guys that Pulisic is just not good enough. And then that was highlighted again in the Carabao Cup game today where he had a blaring miss. And 3 misses, but the one in the first half, I must say, boy, he was unmarked about at the 12-yard line, did not make proper contact with the ball. And that just shows lack of confidence, everything. But one positive I have to say is that in the Carabao Cup game today, he started Lewis Hall at left wing back, who's an 18-year-old, and boy, he looked good. He's a centre mid and he was out there left wing back playing magnificent.
That's the ball I was telling you
Yeah,
about.
the best chance.
Alex, I don't know if you remember the game last year in the FA Cup and they played him. He balled out and they put him on the bench for a couple of Premier League games after that and they didn't give him a bus. And I was so upset that they didn't bring him on after that because he played so well.
Talented.
He played really well. I'm very disappointed in Potter that he didn't bring on Omari Hutchinson or didn't start Omari Hutchinson after not making him go and play for Jamaica. And I saw him, for example, he started Ziyech. No Chelsea fan really wants to see Ziyech because we know that Ziyech is gone from January. It don't make sense that, we're playing Ziyech. And then we had 5 subs, and then when the game is lost 2-0 down, he's bringing on Havertz. Why not bring on Mr. Hutchinson so we can see what he's about, see if this is a new spark to the team. But other than that, I'm rolling with Harry Potter. You get me without a choice.
Well said.
I guess from an Arsenal perspective, it wasn't really much in it, honestly. I had a few concerns going into the game, and it was us scoring goals. We're talking about Jesus a little bit last week, and if he can really find the back of the net, and he had a chance with that header. I mean, granted, it was a tough header, but still, something I really think he should have put away if he wants to be, up there with the numbers at the end of the season. But I mean, all in all, it was a decent game. As you guys touched on before, we had a lot of possession in the game. We played well, we're free flowing, but just the goal scoring, not enough for me. I want to see more of that going forward. I want us to address that actually in the January window. 1 or 2 more positions.
I mean, if you realize it though, and you check it, even FPL shows it. And it kind of shows, I said it to Alvin the other day, when you look at the forward list for FPL, like, are forwards really producing any goals right now? Like, literally, you look at the forward list for FPL and you can get Harry Kane or Haaland.
Tony.
Good luck. You're rolling the dice.
Tony Mitrovic.
I did say Tony.
Peter, remember I told you about my strategy. Drop Jesus, use that money and pick up some midfielders who can deliver for me.
Yeah.
Had to.
Yeah. No, it's the best thing to do because no goals are coming out of the forward line, which goes to Jeff's point. It's like Jesus not producing. Chelsea forwards not producing. We said it about United from last week that goal scoring finishing is a problem. Like it's just not happening for any of the top teams.
What I'd put to that, and not to drift away too far from the point, but the fantasy is based on the stats that these players produce on the field. And as we talk about Chelsea, Arsenal, and I know we'll eventually segue into Man U, I was looking on your side, Pete. Didn't see any Man U ballers.
Yeah.
I don't have any Chelsea baller on my side because Reece James was on my side before he got injured. So statistically, to support what we're seeing in the eye tests and what we are critiquing here on the pod, is that they're not producing.
Yeah.
They're just not producing. My side needs an overhaul. Don't know what we're going to do with the keeper, which one we're going to keep. Central defense, we need to do something about that. Thiago Silva is 37. He won't be there for long, forever. Koulibaly looks like he's just came there for the paycheck. It man look like he's on vacation already. I mean, we're in November. Central midfield is the only place I sort of feel comfortable. We need cover for Reece James at right back because with Potter, I will say this. I hope he doesn't have the Frank Lampard arrogance that costs us players. I don't know if it's a British entitlement thing, But it happened with Rudiger, where Rudiger apparently, the reports are he was training hard. Frank Lampard didn't like him for any which reason. Tuchel came in, and we saw that what Rudiger is, a world-class Real Madrid caliber German central defender. But Frank Lampard, despite this guy training hard and not being defiant, said not doing anything that would warrant any disciplinary action, decided that he's not going to play him. Man never signed a contract, we lost him to Real Madrid on a free. We don't have Reece James, so we're lacking creative outlet. Callum Hudson-Odoi has played right wing back so many times. Is he injured? Alex, maybe you can tell me. I do not know. But why are you not giving him?
He's gone on loan. He's
he
gone
left on loan. Oh yes, he left on
Yeah.
loan. He left on loan. Sorry. Yeah. But we need to do something at right back. We need to do something on our forward line. We need players who can create space and create openings. Sterling is like a dog who has been conditioned out of what he's normally been bred to do. So he gets the ball. His natural instinct he used to have at Liverpool to run and take on players and be successful in that. Similar to Jesus, he's lost that confidence to dribble past players.
You know, to touch on that point, cause I remember who said it last week. But when we're speaking about Jesus, I think the same thing applies to Sterling in the sense that City hid a lot of their faults and frailties. Like for example, someone said that it could make a miss, and then 10 minutes later somebody does something beautiful, and you're like, oh, we forgot about it. It doesn't matter. Oh, we still want to.
Yep.
Exactly. And Sterling benefited from that system, and Pep instilled in Sterling turn pass, take it, shoot, score. So that he wasn't asked to do too much because they had a squad full of players who could have done so much. And they have creative players like De Bruyne or Bernardo Silva or Gundogan or something, those guys to create. So they just needed Sterling to finish, to beat one player and pass. So
Tap-ins.
Yeah,
All of his goals.
Tap-ins, exactly. So
his first touch was always in the box. Same thing for Jesus for City. First touch was always in that box. Whether it's one touch and beat somebody and shoot or one time tap in, but it was always in the box.
Aubameyang is not Aubameyang from 4 years ago, and Havertz needs players around him if he's going to develop because he's still young. So Chelsea need an overhaul. That's
need an overhaul. Yeah. And it's sad because we just spent 300 million. Like how do we just say we spent broke the transfer record and then in the same breath are gonna say we need an overhaul?
I'm saying that's crazy. You guys have
it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm telling you guys, I still believe it. I do not think that coach Graham Potter has it in him to handle those egos. Those egos and those players are bigger than him. When you have players who can look at you and say, I have achieved more than you can even dream of.
But
you have to be able to control those egos.
But Peter, you're looking at our squad though, and when you said that, I'm thinking the only real star players that we can say in the team, like out and out stars, would have to be a Sterling, just came, a Kante,
Thiago Silva.
Chelsea just won the Champions League.
But no, but
those guys just won the Champions League.
Yeah, they just won the Champions League under Tuchel.
I don't see any real stars in our team. Honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking around.
Potter has no stripes on them.
Our best players, as you guys love to highlight, is a right back. If we go on the best, who's Man U's best player? Who's Man U's best player? Who's Arsenal's best player? I'm pretty sure somebody in the midfield or forward. Our best players are right back. That's very telling.
Our best players are goalies.
And I was a right back. As a right back, Reece James, if I'm 25, Reece James can't be more than 23, 24, maximum. So our best player is a 23-year-old right back. That'll show you our team needs an overhaul. We don't have any stars. If, in my opinion, with how we're going off based off form and everything, none of those players can give Potter talk. We just lost 4-1 to Potter's team. We just lost to a team that Potter had his whole imprint on, had his players, everything. To me, like as because Cos is saying, we need a full-on overhaul. Like I wouldn't be shocked if we sold another 6 or 8 players between now and summer.
I think that it lies within coaching because we can use Arsenal as an example. Arsenal didn't have a bunch of stars. Arsenal didn't have a gang of people who you would say, oh, we're going to be hot on the transfer market. Those guys became stars under Arteta. Arteta coached them into stars. Arteta made those players who they are. Like, really and truly, they were nobodies before. We were all saying this about Arsenal. Like, yo, who is this like a young side? Like, yo, you know what I mean? Who is this? Who is this Saka kid? Who is this Saliba kid? Who is this? You know what I mean? We're literally like, yo, this Martinelli kid.
Where's
like,
Smith Rowe? As Peter was bringing it up, where's Smith Rowe now?
Injured.
As usual, bro. That man does not play now.
Yeah, injury problem.
He can't stay fit. But I don't think how he play, like he pushes his body. I don't think his body can manage, to be honest with you.
That and Odegaard take him game.
Sorry?
I said that and Odegaard take him game.
I have a theory about those ballers, but I can't say.
I don't understand how you have two of the same players. One is in the number 10 and one is the captain. I don't understand how that matters.
Honestly, usually we gave, I don't know why we did that. We gave Smith Rowe the 10 before we officially signed Odegaard. And we're trying to bring in Maddison that summer. So I don't even know why we did that, because
I do not know why, because I thought Maddison was going to get the 10.
That was supposed to be
the guys.
I thought Maddison was going to get the 10.
You guys at Arsenal are madmen. You guys gave Nketiah the 14.
But they honestly don't.
You guys are madmen.
I don't know what's going on.
The guy had one good half a season, and you guys give him the 14. Like,
not worried. Nobody. Not a single fan.
But like, yo, this is disrespectful.
Not a single fan is happy.
Rightfully, Theo had the throne, was supposed to inherit the throne, so he got the 14.
He didn't.
No problem there. But
crap with it. And Aubameyang revived it. I'm not gonna lie.
When I saw that, I was just like, my goodness.
It was a rough one. It was a rough film.
Like, who is going to show it?
It's a rough film to swallow.
Let me try to give my boss, you know.
Nah, we're bro. You score a Ross goal today, though.
That was one of the worst moves in football, man. I don't know.
All right, that's enough Chelsea talk. Let's jump into the next game. I think we all, except for Quaz, predicted a Man U win. Manchester United, Aston Villa at Old Trafford, right?
No, it's at Villa Park.
Oh, this was at Villa Park?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right, that's wrong. Yeah, I predicted a 2-1 Man U.
I predicted love Man U.
Well, I think it's the same thing we're talking about in the warm up to this whole pod, where the rotation at Ten Hag, I don't get it. I don't know. I think he knows how he wants to play. So I don't know why he's trying to force Ronaldo back in the side. And I thought he found the perfect excuse to get him out. You know, just hold him on the bench and just get his side and get to the. Is Sancho injured?
Injured. It was 6 last injured. We don't know what it was. Because reports came out he was sick at first, and then now reports are saying that he's getting back to fitness, which is like, I don't know, if you were sick, I don't know why you'd be getting back to fitness.
And Anthony is back now, right?
I don't know. The report still, literally Ten Hag keeps saying that it's a waiting game. It's a waiting game.
He didn't play a piece that Villa game, no?
No,
not at all.
Okay. But yeah, that one was shot.
For me, it's just we lack consistency. And consistency for me comes from you playing a certain team of starters. You need to have these things. Like we were talking about it last week, like consistency is key for me. Even just things like free kicks, penalties. Like every other team in the Premier League has designated players to take the free kick from this side, from that side, penalties, this, that. Like for us, it's just always a toss-up. It's just always all right, well, let's see who's closest to the ball and who grabs it first. And, you know what I mean? The crowd make up enough noise for this guy, and then we're just going to go with this guy. And for me, consistency is where we lack. And that also goes into the finishing and the build-up play into the finishing that we lack as well. So that team that he put onto the field, for me, just wasn't it. Like I said before, which even started, like it's not the greatest thing that Fred is one of our best midfielders. Fred is in our best 11, but he is a part of our best 11. Plain. Like, I don't know why. Like, why do we start with Van der Beek? Like, why are we still on this Van der Beek thing? Like, who is still trying? Like, I don't know. Ten Hag needs to get out them Ajax days. Like, it's not the same Van der Beek you had back then. Like, it's not the same guy.
Was clear. I think it was clear what he was trying to do. He was trying to play the team that he played before, seeing as how they had success. However, I agree with you, Peter. I don't think he should have started Van der Beek at all. I think he should have even, made a quick decision and just, because there was a clear loss right there in the middle. You should have just took him out. I'm sorry to say, took him out.
That's another thing that he doesn't do very well. He doesn't pivot. Like, you see things going a certain way, you need to pivot and make moves to kind of transfer that flow of energy on the field and do what you need to do. In terms of, we really missed Bruno. We can really say we missed Bruno for sure.
Yeah.
And without Anthony and Sancho, I mean, Anthony is our real firepower at this point. I don't see us having any firepower outside of Anthony.
I wouldn't say Garnacho did, but had a bad performance. I just think the game was too big for him. He started well, but then I guess he fizzed out towards then. As you saw,
Villa, Arvin, too big.
Well,
glory, Man United, Aston bleeping Villa.
Boy, because I hear you, but at the same time, you could have seen what happened because they locked him down. I mean, he did. He started well. The game matured.
We had Aston Villa ballers out there looking like stars.
Which
we
is
had
correct.
Aston Villa players out there looking like they have never looked before. Like,
honorable mention, Leon Bailey,
right?
Big up.
Like, big up Leon Bailey. Yeah, Marate. Yeah, yardman baller. But against United, you're not supposed to have that, bro. Against United, brother, like, really and truly, they like, the man them find a pep in them step and they just literally trounced us. We were trounced. Like, we had no answer.
You have to scratch my neck because, Quasi called out and Quasi said it right. And, I don't know why I never think back to myself and say, Quasi, you're right, because the coach, I think he has a good record against us. From his days in La Liga. They always beat us, bro. They always beat us. Always. It's so annoying, bro. It's so annoying.
That's fine. I mean, that coach is fine, but just given the personnel that we have compared to the personnel that Villa has, the players we have available compared to the players Villa has available, if you just go off of let's just go off a skill level of 0 to 100 all the way down. United blows them out of the water. We should be blowing them out of the water. That should be a given win game, especially given Villa's form throughout the whole season. Like, it should be a given game. It should be go in there, do business, make a move.
But you have to like give the new manager bounce though. You know what I mean? And I never paid that attention in my fantasy, and it cost me. I depended on 3-man new players and
new manager bounce is one.
New manager bounce.
Guys, remember, we have to consider a few things. So just to address the Man U situation first is, and I said this last week, is they're playing a Thursday, Sunday, even if a Champions League side plays Wednesday and then plays Saturday, it's just different with Thursday, Sunday. And we know this. So he would be forced to rotate. I know you spoke about squad depth, guys, but Thursday, Sunday, he has to do some rotation. And remember, they were going at it until the 90th minute, so they would have placed in a group and then have to play this knockout round. So there's not only a physical, but there's also a mental exhaustion with the players. We all did sports. We understand what that is. It's real. So that's the first thing I considered. The second thing is Villa. Now, there are players of this generation where we were really just in Prem. You have your Lampards, your John Terrys, your Henrys, and you have your Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard was a great player. He could play multiple positions along the midfield. Defensive, central, attacking, far up on the right, far up on the left, right behind the number 9 that he did when he played with Torres. He was just, even that game he started to play centre back and slipped against Chelsea and they lost the title, but I digress.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But a player like Steven Gerrard, when he goes to a club like Rangers, those guys are in Scotland, they have Steven Gerrard as their manager. Oh my God. and they will definitely comply with most of the stuff he was saying. Peter, you brought up if Potter can have the dressing room at Chelsea. And we see this across all sports. We see it in the NFL. Coles just hired Jeff Saturday. Some of the senior players revolted. Aston Villa, while
players
they don't
revolted?
have titles,
The players revolted?
Yeah.
the senior players, the senior players,
I
they were very
saw
upset about it.
he brought in some 2B coach as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, Jeff Saturday was just on first take Monday.
Yeah. Bro, they had his seat open. His seat was still empty. They showed his seat. They were like, "Yo, this is Jeff Saturday's seat." It was supposed to be here.
So so when a player like Gerrard comes into Villa and he's trying to, he expects what he could have delivered sometimes. It's unrealistic to the players that he had there at his disposal. And then he seemed just to be like a sour guy. Just to me, that's just my eye test. So when they knew that they didn't have him anymore, that first game they performed well. I can't remember who they played, and they won like 4-0 or something.
4-0.
Yeah. And then they get Emery, who is going to come in and he's going to play nice cap, and he's also a very good coach. We know this. History shows us this. So I was just figuring the new manager Bongs definitely will still be there. And Manu has that Thursday, Sunday. Guys, we've been watching this game for 20 odd years. There's some things that are just like, it's black and white. And we get emotion caught up in this. So even when I said last week,
emotional damage.
Yeah, what I said last week, I said I was hopeful for a result against Arsenal. I knew what Chelsea was delivering over the last couple of weeks, and I said it.
No. I said hopeful. You're quietly optimistic.
Quietly optimistic.
That was
optimistic. But I wasn't pronouncing a 2-0 victory or anything like that. And I know what I have. And sometimes when we take emotion out of this, because remember, the problem I think with Man U is, and there was somebody, it was either 2 or 3 years ago. I know you remember this little meme, Jeff. And they said, look at Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans are having us a good go of it. They just come to the match, no expectations, and they're just living happy. They're playing beautiful football. They can win 4-0, they can lose 4-0, they're happy. They said what killed Man U fans is the hope. And you guys get 2 or 3 good results. And Lemar and Shea, who are absent over the last 2 weeks, they don't show up. And you guys are like, oh, we're back.
No. It's not the 2-3 results. It's just that Man U fans are used to a caliber of football that is top notch.
When last have you gotten that, sir? Did you get that under I even forgot his name, the interim Austrian or German coach? Did he really have that? Van Hal? You were playing that level of football under Van Hal?
No, we're talking about United fans. Hold on, we never just became fans. We've been watching football for how many years, you said, Quaz?
Bro, 9 years since you've been able to play that better football.
We remember Fergie days. We remember Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes. We remember that midfield. That's what we watch football.
So you're trapped in 9 years ago, that's what I'm saying.
Dominant for so long. We've been dominant for so long. It's rough to see these times. It's rough.
Yeah. It's rough. Listen, if you used to drive a Benz 9 years ago, and all of a sudden you're driving a Prius, don't tell me say you used the Benz lifestyle, but you haven't driven a Benz in 9 years. Come on, man, be realistic.
No, man. If you drive a Benz for 20.
Yeah, but that's not been your life for the last 9 years, bro.
No, but Peter,
I bet the equivalent is them still a drive the Benz, but it's 2022 and it's at 1990.
The man drive a 2000.
Hold on to the bed,
bro. I roll it. This is my lifestyle. Because I have the compressor.
I can't.
Get that new driver and get Den Hag.
I thought you'd have learned from Arsenal fans, to be honest with you, because we are twice as long in 20 years. So they're just halfway where we were. We were still miserable at the time, because it's hard. There's hope. Top four.
No.
We needed a rebuild.
Our plight of our 9-year time, we have hit top 4, sir.
No. That's what we were hitting top 4 the whole time. We just came with a top 4 what, 6 years ago?
We still had a chance. We always had a chance.
Mourinho
had a chance.
When you guys came
second. With Mourinho, we had a chance.
With the rise of Man City and Liverpool. Nah.
With the rise of Man City and Liverpool, there's no.
You know what's an interesting stat I heard today? That this is Man City's 7th year with Pep in charge, right? 7th year. Where were our team 7 years ago? right? I can't remember our manager 7 years ago. You get me? And I'm just saying, like, you know, this just shows the significant difference as to why we are where we are and where they are.
It's a quality manager. You said the same thing with Klopp.
But hold on, how long is Arteta been in charge of Arsenal? 3 years?
4th year now.
His 4th year. So I mean, that's continuity. And right, for example, I remember when Arteta's first 2 years, we were saying that it was up between Solskjaer, Lampard, and Arteta. Solskjaer and Lampard aren't here, and Chelsea and Man U are still shit. Arsenal kept the manager, and Arsenal are now in a title race in the first time since 2004, in 18 years. You know, so that just shows that, you know, the blueprint, in my opinion. And that's what shows like why I would sit down and go on tough it out with Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm
Arsenal
gonna
did it different.
I'm not going to cuss. I'm not
Arsenal
going
did it
to
different.
just drive through it. Give him
When
time.
Arsenal went through their building phase, you have to remember they did it different. Arteta had a side of kids. He had a side to mold his way. It wasn't ballers who came from here.
I would argue
play ball a certain way. It was
I would argue
mold these guys for my team to play.
I would argue a season ago, you guys were I would say a little bit above us. You had the A grade teams as opposed to Arsenal. You guys had your Rashford. You just bought Sancho that summer. You had one name Mason
Martial
was fired. He couldn't stop.
Pogba.
You had
He's on the bench doing
you had
nothing.
Pogba, but he was on the way out. You sold him that summer. So I mean, you guys were on that rebuild. What I think you guys did, what threw it all off, the spanner in the works, Ronaldo.
Trade. Everybody knows this.
Nah, for me, coaching choices.
I think if Ronaldo didn't come that summer,
Solskjaer's side was playing.
you guys would have had a
was
more
getting you back
advanced
to
version of our
Mercedes-Benz.
side.
It doesn't matter. No, don't tell me nothing about Solskjaer's side. Solskjaer has no resume to coach a team. Solskjaer was a bench player who came on in 86 minutes and scored goals.
What's Arteta's resume? I remember Solskjaer was hold on. You remember that Solskjaer, I remember Solskjaer was captain, or not captain, manager of Cardiff. Was it Cardiff?
Cardiff.
And they got relegated.
Back in the day. Okay, but I'm saying that he has a resume. Arteta never had a resume.
Relegated.
Arteta was just Pep assistant.
Yeah, Solskjaer's only managerial job, his team got relegated. Like, how is that a resume builder? I don't understand. You're supposed to leave that off on purpose.
It builds character.
They're supposed to bury and sweep on the rug and say, oh boy.
All right. Let's jump into that next game. The last game of the weekend was the Liverpool Spurs.
The only good thing is that Tottenham lose. The only good thing of the weekend is that Tottenham lose.
I'm happy about that. I didn't mind the Liverpool. I mean, I felt it was going to go this way still, to be honest with you. Traditionally, what we've been seeing, Tottenham, they don't get started till the second half for some reason. I don't know what Conte is pushing or trying to do out there, but for some reason they try to play at the old school Italian sides. So they defend whole and nil, go into the second half and transition 70 minutes and try and nick a goal. But
he didn't start going nowhere without Son.
They keep losing the first goal in the first half, or I can't tell the last time Tottenham were up and not chasing that game.
They're going nowhere without Son. I don't think they have the quality in the midfield to supply Hurricane the way Son does. If you look at
even with Son
play,
how do you have Son injured?
He's their outlet. Look at Tottenham play counter-attacking football. Who counter-attacks? Who brings that ball across the half line?
Right now, nobody.
Hurricane. It's always Son, and they just have that gap now. They just don't, and that's the way them play. So without person,
Conte is a world-class manager. You don't change your tactics to accommodate for that.
I don't think he has confidence in the team. I don't.
Yeah, but you're all right. Today you're playing. Who they play today? Nottingham Forest.
That's true. That's true, Quaz.
Touched up 2-0. But I don't understand that. Why are you playing negative football against Nottingham Forest though? I can understand you're playing Liverpool and you're playing the Champions League and you want to just make sure you don't lose. But why are you sitting back against a team who's naturally going to sit back against you? Why? this is my thing with Conte. I don't know. Conte has never been this bad. Conte has never been this bad. I don't know if he's self-sabotaging or what, but he's never been this bad. Conte is usually very good tactically. Conte's team usually you can usually watch TV and say, all right, yeah, it's not the most attractive football, but this is a well-coached team. You remember when he had Italy back in the day in the Euros, and you would watch Italy how they would defend and everything, and then he came to Chelsea. But before even Italy, Juventus, he was who put Juventus other than Allegri. He brought Juventus solidly back on the map. So it's a big drop off by him, and then when you see some of the decisions he's making, where he keeps bringing on like holding midfielders when they're losing or centre backs, he's not playing the Jed Spence. I really don't know what's going on with Conte. I really can't tell.
Nobody knows, Alex, because as you said, well coached side. I remember he converted Moses to a consistent right wing back. I remember those sides that we had when he came in and won the league with us. So, really, for me, I think not only Son, but Kuleveski, they're missing him as well. I know he's just come back from injury. He was a next element that adds to the counter-attacking football that they carry.
Yep.
So for me, there's a lot to fix with Tottenham as well. It's interesting.
Yeah.
As persons try to compete with Man City, I think Arsenal basically has their side. Arsenal is in a position of luxury. Not only do they know their best 11, and they still have persons to come back from injury like Emil Smith Rowe, and you're seeing like Reece Nelson, who we saw 2 weeks ago against Nottingham Forest, and they know they have those prospects.
Yep.
So they're in a position.
Zinchenko.
And Zinchenko. Between like even Zinchenko and Tierney, that's a good problem to have at left back. But remember, Zinchenko can also play central midfield, so that gives you more options. So even if a party goes down, you carry on and any. So Arsenal is in a comfortable position in terms of they can continue to play their starting 11, hope they don't get any major injuries, and they can now take their time to recruit quality players. And what Arsenal can say to these quality players is, listen, Champions League ball is basically secured.
Yeah.
What the hell Chelsea and Man U and Liverpool are doing. Come to us, play good football, and we are guaranteeing you more than likely Champions League football next year. So they're in that position of leverage. Apart from that, and Man City, they have the side, and Pep says he's not going to buy in January. He might buy 1 or 2, but he's not going to spend. But apart from that, Liverpool needs to strengthen with their continuous injury crisis. Chelsea, we mentioned, overhaul. Tottenham needs something, and Man U needs something. British clubs are going to have to spend in January and in the summer again. That's what I'm going to say.
I don't think players are going to come. I honestly, I think because we've seen, I know personally, I've been watching Man U on the transfer market, and players just don't want to go, bro. Like you can bid all you want, but when a player says, I ain't going, bro, like.
Well, some Peter, but you still have. I don't agree with you totally. There's some ballers that would still want to come. There's Cunha that wants to come as a forward. There's Rabiot.
Rabiot.
Question: Didn't Chelsea secure Nkunku?
Yes.
But he did a medical. I don't know if things are signed. I think there might be a gentleman's agreement in place.
Yeah.
What was that for? Summer?
Yeah, summer, not January.
Okay.
The guys in we can wait. Are we playing Leipzig? No, who are we playing? We're playing Dortmund. Sorry.
Dortmund. Yeah.
Man City is playing Leipzig.
Good matchup with them.
Yeah. But what I said before we go off is, what do you guys think with Salah getting those goals?
I was just about to ask.
He's been up and down.
2 goals, right?
Yeah, 2 goals. And 2 good goals. 1 goal was a quick turn and release, which shows me he still has confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, the one with the Earth Dyer horrible back header, which he pounced upon, which still means he has instinct. So instinct and confidence for a striker, those are 2 critical things. So does he come back? Does he get that consistent form? Because we know if he goes on a 2 and a 3 game tier, more than likely that's going to end up being, even if he doesn't score every game, at 11, 12 game tier where he's scoring, assisting, penalties, all these things.
He's right back in the race.
But what I'm seeing with Liverpool is the games that we see Salah show up and give us 3 goals, 2 goals, whatever. The rest of the team is kind of.
He pulls them. He carries them. He carries them. They go the way he goes.
Like this. Like even with the goal last game where Salah scored, like a couple times we saw Darwin and an aggressive forward would have went for it, but Darwin kind of and pass it off, give Salah or kind of like, let's move back and try this again and go the next way with Salah. It's like they kind of have to
Darwin is
facilitate
raw.
for him.
My gosh.
Who?
Darwin, my gosh, I'm raw.
He's just too hot-headed for me.
He's
Like,
gonna refine it.
I need to get him off of my FPL team, bro. He's like a yellow card.
Darwin as a FPL team.
He's on my FPL team because I bought him for Liverpool's comeback. Like, all right, let's Liverpool, but it's just Salah dominated. But he's been so streaky this season that I refuse to go with Mo Salah.
Yeah, I mean, can never.
He's too expensive. He's too expensive for the risk.
Yeah,
he's like 12.8.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Salah. I mean, to your question, Quaz, if I'm thinking strictly with my FPL brain, he's way too expensive to even risk. So would I bet on him? Really? I don't know. I need to see more first. I need to see like one or two. You know what I mean? One or two more.
Yeah. Yeah, question. I can bring it back to a previous experience I had. I was playing Charles, and it was my only top notch to play. I said, you know what? Let me triple captain Salah against Nottingham Forest. No goals, no assists, nothing.
You remember when they beat Bournemouth 8-0? And they beat Bournemouth 8-0. I remember I
captained triple captain.
And I was watching the game, watching the score go up and like 1-0, 2-0. All right, Salah must chip in 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. Nothing.
It's like, as you know, back to your point again.
Salah doesn't get assists.
Arvin, we play against each other this week. No triple captain available. No triple captain available. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, the man said, Alisson get the assist.
Remember Alisson got an assist, like, for fuck's sake.
Crazy. I know you're a very intelligent guy. You know, all you have to do is go on the app and literally go through all the weeks and look what everybody has used. If you don't know that early, just literally go through the weeks. Hey,
you do too much, bro.
Yeah, that's what
I mean, yeah, I'm not getting all of that. I looked at your squad and I said, okay, this is who Arvin has, and I know what 1 and 2, 3 that I will make, and we'll face off. We'll face off come weekend, sir.
I'm just happy that we're going into this break for World Cup right now.
I was about to say that we have one more episode before the World Cup break.
How you guys feel about the teams? They named the World Cup teams. How you feel about Brazil side?
On a play to join the injured list, Sadio Mane.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I think that's done. The Senegal is done now, you know.
I usually bet on the African side to go far in the competition, and Senegal was my side. But boy, looking rough now.
It's not even the goals or what he carries. Remember, he's like a national hero and he's building like
yes.
The whole side looks to him. So
I think he's a captain.
Impact that's going to have on them.
Koulibaly is the captain.
Or whatever, but the mental impact is going to have on them, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree, Coach. I agree.
And it's a talisman.
It's going to have the same mental impact it had on Liverpool. In last.
We had a couple more topics. Man City's great escape. It don't really much to touch on there. Champions do what champions do.
Champions do what champions do, and the thing with champions, and I've referred to this about 2 or 3 times in this pod so far, and I refer to it again, is that swagger, that charisma, that dominance that they have. It's a mental thing. Fulham at no point thinks they can compete with them, even when they're down to 10 men. They still had 70% of possession with 10 men. What?
It's crazy.
So the penalty was soft.
Yeah, of course.
But apart from that,
Fulham,
and that's why I like certain matchups. And that's why I know certain coaches are good coaches. Because even before him, Roy Hodgson, but even now with him at the helm, with Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira, they always give Man City a fight. They're willing to go in the trenches and fight. So I know a good manager when I see it, and trust me, Patrick Vieira is not getting enough attention at Crystal Palace.
Yes.
They don't play with Man City.
Been that way.
Fulham never have that mental fortitude against them.
It's been that way. But
Quasi,
City to me,
couldn't agree with you more, Quasi. Jeez.
City's depth is insane. And I feel like Pep's style of football, just how clean and pure it is, just tiki-taka, I feel like it just breeds greatness out of these fucking players. Like, sorry to curse, but like I see even Lewis playing. I see like even these young players, but them playing ball. I feel like everybody here played ball before. When three wicked pass make and the fourth pass is to you, you have to make a good pass for the fifth pass. You have to do something good. You can't just take that ball and just kind of walk around and do something. So I feel like City, it kind of pushes players like that. Like those new players, those up and coming players, they feel like they have to keep up a standard. They don't want to be the weak link in that chain. Like,
and to that point, Peter, that is probably why Sterling and Jesus struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah.
They're expecting that from the people around them.
Yep.
Sterling definitely for sure is expecting that. At least Arsenal is giving Jesus some of that. Yeah, but Chelsea for sure, Sterling looking around like, what?
Yeah,
we watched on the weekend all the time together, and he got the ball and he looked up. There's no with City ball with that tiki taka. You look up, there are 3-4 options.
Yep.
Sterling looked up and he's like, "What the hell? Where am I?" Like, you know that meme that the Simpsons meme them have with Ralphie in the back of the bus. I'm in trouble. Like Sterling looks up and he looks around and he's like, "I'm in trouble. What do I do? I don't remember how to beat people anymore. I'm in trouble."
Yep. I definitely agree with that.
But back to you guys. Well, I mean, I don't want to stray, but Quasi, very good point on Patrick Vieira, bro. I think he's doing an excellent job at Crystal Palace, bro.
Yeah, some young, talented ballers. I mean, Eze, Olise, and Zaha up front. Those
Edward too.
Edward. Yes, sir. And Mateta not a bad baller, Tino.
Yeah.
I'm growing him up. Yeah, bro.
Well.
It's not a bad side.
Go ahead.
I'm pushing for Patrick still. Ex-Gunner.
Uncle Paddy.
Optimus Prime.
I have a final question for everybody. I feel like I asked this twice before and the man them just brush it off. But I think this is a viable question. We have one more game left before the World Cup break, and they're going in definitely in the top 4. My question is Newcastle here, or is this just a flash in the pan? The man them quiet. Before no.
The only thing is,
look back on the first. We're doing our predictions. I had them top 5, and Noah had them top 5.
I remember I said this last week as well.
Yeah, of course.
With World Cup in the middle of the season now, it might give Newcastle the break they need to push on and stay. I feel like they need that break because I feel like had this been a regular run-of-play season, they wouldn't be able to keep it up throughout that whole season. With World Cup in between injuries, like I feel like
hold on. Well, Peter, one could argue against that because let's be real now. You know, it's always good to be playing in form. Right? Yeah, build up momentum, right? And then with this World Cup break, gives a lot of teams, you know, like the opportunity to get back injured players. So, for example, the squad that Chelsea's gonna field post World Cup, and the squad that we could play them on Saturday is gonna be 2 different teams. You know, and then Newcastle have the money as well, but I'm just saying that, you know.
True, but how many of Newcastle's players are going to be gone for 4 weeks of World Cup?
True. How
many of United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, like these teams are going to be depleted for 4 weeks. Those players are going to be playing every 2 to 3 days. Boom, 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 boom for a month. Whereas Newcastle, most of their team will be training and just building.
Well, I mean, yeah, as you said, Trippier, Bruno Guimaraes, Botman, I think he's Dutch, is he not? Pope gonna go all the way. Sven Botman?
Yeah, I think he's Dutch. But I don't think he got the call up though. Did he?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't even know if Holland called out the squad yet.
What side Africa play for again? I can't remember me. The number 10. Remember name again?
Maximin, I think he's French. He ain't gonna get no call. He's probably in the third 11.
Yeah, he ain't gonna do it. Most of them aren't going to be going anywhere, and if they do go anywhere, they're not going with teams that are gonna go the full haul of a month. Sorry to say, but most of their players, if they go, they'll be coming back after the first week or two.
What I said for Newcastle though is, with the money that they were going to have, the investment that they were going to be able to put into the club, definitely they'll be there and thereabouts. I don't know how long it's going to take them to reach the Man City level. I don't know how long it's going to take the owners to realize that Eddie Howe is a good coach, a really good coach, but he only can take us so far. So once we've established a Champions League side, once we've gotten Excalibur players, when do we now go for not Pep himself, but a Pep-esque tier boss? You know, when do we make that run for Zidane?
Do you think the players are gonna go to Newcastle? Do you think high-priced players are gonna say, you know what, let's get this Newcastle thing?
Honestly, I didn't expect Isaac. I didn't expect Bruno Guimaraes.
But Bruno was a good player, but Bruno wasn't Bruno.
Wasn't top of the market.
Arsenal
top of the market as yet. He had a platform with a PL.
I'm talking about a Frankie De Jong. I'm talking about
no, but they don't want that player yet.
When are they going? No, I just mean like that caliber of player in the market, like because they have the money to do it. Like Newcastle could literally build out
But that's what they shouldn't. That's what I don't think they should do. Because
I don't think they should do it
look at where they are with the players that they have now. If they add the right pieces, just to solidify it and carry them through the season, because they're not in Europe. And I mean, we'll see how far they just won, I think, in the Carabao Cup. So let's see how far they go domestic. Yeah. I think they can really
a club like Newcastle, just like Arsenal, have that benefit. They can look in the winter transfer because they are, as Jeff mentioned to me, one away, they're ahead of schedule. So they have the luxury of not being under pressure. I mean, if Eddie Howe was in 8th or 9th, then he'd have to be running down players. But the man is in third or 4th. He can go and say, all right, let us see if we can add 1 or 2 quality pieces in the winter transfer window. And then someone come now, he can say 3 or 4. We can probably get rid of one of the 2 Longstaff brothers. We can probably get rid of Murphy or somebody else in the summer and bring in 3-4 good quality players who going to want to play in Champions League. So he's not on this big thing now where he has to do this mass overhaul. Because next year they're not expecting him to win the league or Champions League. They probably just want to see, can we get closer to the top? And can we reach the knockout stages of the Champions League? So you don't need an overhaul for that. 1 and 2 players in the winter transfers window, 3 or 4 in the summer. And you can start to add to what you have now.
I'm interested to see how Saint Maxim does coming back into the team.
Yeah.
And folding into the team as opposed to it being Saint Maxim's team.
Yeah. Because I don't think absolutely right, Peter. Before he left, it was his team.
Yeah.
Everything went through him.
Yeah.
They've been playing well without him and winning without him.
Exactly.
How does he get integrated back into the team? How does Eddie Howe manage that situation? That's a key dynamic to watch,
It's his ego too. Like, can his ego manage it? Can he play second fiddle now or just be a part of the team, play a position?
Yeah. Can Eddie Howe do the Pep and the Sterling out of St. Maximan?
Break a man will.
Yo, watching Sterling on the weekend is so depressing because I was so excited about this move for Chelsea. His will is broken.
I was not excited, but it's depressing. Precious
the man could not beat a dead dog. It was sad. Like we were all watching it. Alex and I were just like, pass, don't try and beat him. And he tried. It was. And he's a yard man, so you want him to well, and he's playing for your side, so you're like, this is the best thing that could happen to me in my life. Oh.
Yeah, he's broken. He's broken.
I'm English now, man. I'm English. But yeah, gents, that's all the topics for this week. We're going to do a weekend roundup, preview, and some match predictions in the next episode.
We can preview.
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. We'll try to jump on tomorrow.
All right, cool.
Alvin, let me know your plans for FPL, bro.
You guys playing each other?
Yeah.
I think I play fresh this week.
I don't even know who I'm playing.
Quasi well played, Quasi.
Yes, Quasi.
Pete.
Well played, Quasi.
I tell you, Yo, this is not. Yo, look, I'm gonna say. I look at my squad and I looked at Lemar's squad. I said Lemar's squad is much better than my squad. So what I did, I said sell Jesus, neutralize Almiron, and I'm glad I did it and bought Almiron because he scored. So I did that, and then I got rid of one other midfielder and other, and I said, listen, I have to the bench boost. I have to the bench boost because my squad is still not good enough to beat his.
Even if I never said it, I said it to him and I said, yo, Quad's going to go negative just to hit them back with the bench boost. Yes, sir. He's gonna hit the negatives.
I have to do strategy, bro.
And
You have to look at a man's squad and see that your squad cannot. And it's just like what we do with this thing, you can't put emotion into it. Chelsea, not as good as Arsenal now. Hopefully optimistic. Or, partly optimistic. That's what I have to be. I couldn't beat Lem head to head. I couldn't beat Lem head to head. Couldn't.
Well played.
Well played, man. I like that one.
Man pull a Potter at Brighton.
I enjoyed that one.
A Brighton Potter. All right, gents. Till next week.
But wait.
Tomorrow, you mean?
I'm glad you said that, Brighton Potter. Now that we see Brighton, was it Brighton or was it Potter?
Potter got them there.
Potter, bro. Potter brought the players. Potter sold the players to create assets. Yo, Peter.
Okay, wait. Let's look at Wolves. Let's look at Wolves with Nuno. Let's look at Wolves with Nuno. With Nuno, Wolves were a top side, and then Nuno left. The same players were there, and where are Wolves?
No, but remember, they had an interim coach at Brighton, which means it's copy and paste. At Wolves, they lost him in the summer, right?
Yeah.
So the Spurs, they got in a new coach, and they're trying some different shit.
All right.
I don't know, right? No, but that's the thing. I definitely think, because I've seen Graham Potter at Brighton move and mix and match and square pegs in round holes until he finally got it. And I think this is definitely Potter's Brighton.
It's actually very blasphemous for him to even question it.
Potter's Brighton, but you know what I'm looking for, Alex? Trossard to Chelsea in January. That's what I want to see.
You haven't had enough?
No,
I don't think it's gonna be Chelsea. I think Trossard is going to be highly sought after.
January.
This is assault. This is assault.
I don't Trossard will go.
No, he's leaving. Remember, his contract's up the end of the summer, right?
Yeah, I doubt he'll go to Chelsea though.
Why not? We get the money.
We can pay
because
money.
I just feel like he'll
be
so highly sought after that there'll be a lot more offers out there than just Chelsea. I feel like he'll have to literally go through offers by the end of the season.
Yeah, we just have to hope Brighton will extend the contract.
Hopefully for him, he does have to go through offers. I hope he does, because he really deserves offers.
That's if Brighton.
I know you're hoping for Man U, That's what Peter is just there saying, I hope he comes to Man U. That's all.
Peter playing a long game.
Yeah, Peter played a long game. He scored against you guys when they beat it, right?
And the Sykes.
I think he was one of the guys who scored against Man U when they played.
Yeah, the man that scored against Man U, bro. Come on.
Trossard, I think he scored against all of us.
He's a good baller. I hope Belgium gives him some time at the World Cup. I hope he gets to play in the World Cup.
Oh, he got called up for sure, right? He got called up?
Yeah, he's going to get called up, for sure. But Belgium have ballers in attacking third, so I don't know if he's going to get game time. They'll carry him on at probably subs, but I don't know if he's going to get started.
Because really and truly, where would he play for Belgium? Like, De Bruyne is already...
De Bruyne, Hazard, all those guys, the two Hazard brothers.
Wait.
All those guys.
That's the only thing I get for say pause. You think them get started the Eden still?
Of course.
No,
bro,
National.
Eddie plays differently for Belgium than he does Madrid.
No, but there's no way they can start him now.
When last Hazard play?
Bro, think about this. Remember, as United fans, we went through this. There was a player called Pogba. When last he played for United, we don't know. But he was at every France international game performing the hell out of midfield.
True.
Like, we know this. We went through.
Yo, Like, I don't know why you guys always fight on these things and get emotional. There's just things that happens
Yeah.
all the time.
International form is
Wait,
international form.
Arvin, what I'll say is go back and look at the qualifiers and the friendlies, and you will see, because I go through these teams lineups every time these teams have these friendlies, and Hazard plays for them, bro.
Yep.
Despite what happens.
No, you're right. But that's why I had to come to it. But do you think it's fair? Like, I mean, you're right.
He performs for them when he plays for them, just like what Pogba did that for France. That's the thing. That's what Peter does.
Do you think if he give Trossard the same chance, he'll probably perform better?
Hazard has seen the bright lights. Trossard has not been in bright light situations.
Yeah.
And that is something. And you, as a Man U fan, should know this more than anybody else in the world. Man U and Real Madrid fans, not everybody performs when the light shines brightest. You have a lot of ballers who come to Man U thinking that they're that, and when it reaches, you want to watch recent history? Alexis Sanchez, sir? No.
Oh my God!
Let's not go through these things.
bro.
Let's not. I don't want to give you the PTSD. But we know these things, guys. We watch sports. We don't only watch football. We watch all sorts of sports. And there's something about sports psychology that fascinates me and all of us. Things are just so like it's like a book. It's like preordained.
Yep.
You see? Yeah.
Yep.
Trossard perform out better than Hazard in the World Cup? No, sir.
Not gonna happen.
No,
bro.
not gonna happen. You'll never live to see that happen.
You know what I was interested to see though is England's side, how England sets up. God, don't like Jude Bellingham. Yeah,
Baller. He's an absolute baller.
absolute baller.
Like,
I don't trust Southgate though.
I don't trust Southgate.
No. Listen, Bellingham and England. If England make quarters, I'll be shocked. I don't think they're going to make that far. But Bellingham, if he goes to Liverpool, I don't know who the manager can be at the time, or if he goes to City. But
honestly,
I don't think Man U or Chelsea stands a chance.
I hate it. I
don't like this Madrid rumors. He needs to.
I hate it, but honestly, I think for Bellingham's career, Liverpool would be such a great move for his career. I think he would blossom at Liverpool. Brother.
No, for sure. I don't think Klopp will be there long enough. I think they're going to get rid of Klopp, but whoever they get as a manager, if they play a similar system to what Klopp plays in that middle three, God, Bellingham will be a big job. He will be a Ballon d'Or candidate because he'll probably reach there in the summer. Whichever club he's going is more than likely it's the summer. We know how Dortmund does business. They carry these players on. It's like, guys, 5-year contract, we're still after 3. You give us 2 years left on the contract so we can negotiate a price. You play first team football, you play Champions League football. We will get to Champions League knockout in most years, so you will develop. And then you pick which club you want to go, and you dictate your salary and your wages. But that's what we guarantee you. It's like is Molde or what a club that I think they used to go Bailey and Holland and all those guys. Is Molde or is Genk? So there was an article and the Genk, I don't know if it's the director of football, and I love this article. He basically spoke about recruiting players, and he said what we do, we find these guys, these talented guys, and we say, listen to them. This is what we guarantee you. First team football, you're going to win a few cups in our domestic league because, we dominate our league. And we're going to get to either the Europa League knockout stages or even a Champions League group stage once in a while, and you'll get notice. When a certain offer comes in, we will not deny it for you. You're going to move from us and go to a club in Germany or England stuff. And this is how they recruit players. And Dortmund sort of does a similar thing. So a player doesn't, unless you name what's the name? What the next one name who always stuck around? Marco Royce. Unless you name Marco Royce, you don't stay at Dortmund long. You go on and you got to build a better career at a big club.
Yeah.
But Dortmund is crazy with their recruitment, because let's think about it. Bellingham is up next to be sold, right? And after Bellingham, they have Gio Reyna from the US.
I want Chelsea to buy Gio Reyna. I want Chelsea to buy
the German guy who's like 16, 17. They have Adeyemi, who's like an 18, 19-year-old German striker. They have like 4 players on the chopping block, right? Back like one after the next that can generate.
I think Chelsea's shell-shocked with American players. I don't have Chelsea going to go for Gio Reyna.
Bro, honestly, not Chelsea.
Oh, wait, they have an American owner now. You guys have an American owner now.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. Chelsea needs an attack, Alex. We need somebody like him, or he might be past that age now, but like a Dusan Tadic. When Tadic was at Southampton, Tadic was a baller. I was wondering why a club like Man U never buy Tadic. I wonder why he
I
went.
always liked
He
that
made a better decision for himself going back to Ajax. But he's so creative. He has this mindset. He opens the field up for other players. Honestly, I'd love if we can get like a case, Federico from Juventus, but I don't think he'll come to Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea can afford him. But a baller like Reina, a baller like Tadic, creative, and not going to cost us, a flipping
I
stadium
think you guys
mortgage.
locked down
I think
Nkunku.
those are
That'd be a
the
good
type of
man.
ballers we need. Yeah.
Hopefully, like
Who?
when he had a shirt in his hand, I would say, all right, it's fine. But until then, PTSD from
Alex?
Barca, and
I
Nkunku.
saw a pickup, so that one I think would suit.
Oh yeah, baller, bro.
Who that?
I think he would fit Chelsea system, to be honest with you.
Who that?
Chelsea player,
Nkunku.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But
I
he
can't wait
will
to
still
see
need
him
some
work.
assistance as well, which is why I think we need a creative baller as well.
But then at least you'd have, Hugh play up top and then he can go through the lines and that's a good ball to bring in the system. So.
And Nkunku is like a Hudson Odoi on steroids.
Okay. We'll see. All right, gents. Let's see what's happening with this LA Clippers versus Lakers game.
Yeah.
Oh, what quarter is
The
it?
Clippers Lakers playing?
Hold on, let me look and see. All right, they're wrapping up the Knicks. I think that one is finished.
Hold that game when the next game.
And that's what they don't show me the scores yet. They don't show me that's some highlights. KD looked like he was cooking. Yo, you saw him drop the brother last week? Oh,
Yo,
God,
KD been playing well
that
still.
was sick.
Brooklyn,
It's the third quarter, man. It's the third quarter, and the Nets are up 80-57.
Yeah, he scored or assisted on 43 Nets points. And New York and the Knicks only have 57.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, yeah,
It's rough being a fan, but I mean,
person took over that long time.
All right, guys. Big up on yourself,
All right, gents.
all right, big up, man.
Manners in the gents, manners.